your production space, the other one's your maker space.
Yeah, but they both eventually have to get organized because of like what I finally realized was that if I have to search for like the stuff I need to do something, I'm probably not going to do it. So I just need to have everything like in a place where I know where it is.
I need to level up to 3.
Yeah.
So I can build my 3rd workbench or 2nd workbench. I can have two.
Now,
so
John, if you keep playing, I just went live on Twitch. If you keep playing for like 5 minutes, I can run an ad, and then you won't have to watch any ads when you get
That's fine.
levels.
I get up and get a drink anyway. I
got Jolly Good cream soda for the first time in like 25 years.
I fucking hate cream soda.
It tastes just like the 90s.
I don't like it. Cream soda, it's like too sweet, I guess. I don't know.
Oh,
I
man.
understand that though. Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm
not
guessing
saying like
because in my activity
like
feed it said unknown user has followed you for 2 separate things. I'm guessing those are accounts I got banned because they were the like Haas whatever.
Haas?
Yeah, that was like
It was part of the hate streaming stuff.
Yeah.
Oh. Hat streaming. Oh, I've been done hate streaming. Alright, I'm gonna go get a soda after this guy's 3D mark is.
I'm gonna talk just to make sure that I can hear myself. I'm gonna talk just to make sure. Alright. If I turn the stream on, it just becomes a nightmare death sound.
Alright, so let's turn off the power. Install his side panel. And remove the cables.
Do we know if Spanky is showing up?
I would say he's probably not if he hasn't said anything.
Okay.
I pinged at everyone, so he will have gotten a notification. Actually, let's just do this. But let's do this. Let me pick this one up. All right. Save game. Save. All right. Exit game. How do I? There we go. Okay, it just auto stopped. All right, I'm gonna grab a sparkled water, and I'll be right back. We'll get some levels.
Yeah, so you're not sure what you got going on Monday right now?
Yeah. Whatever I do, I'm not gonna be busy all day.
Yeah.
What are you thinking? Like,
well,
you mean John hang out or like the full family and everything?
Well, I have the full fam, so whatever. We'll feed you. We can whatever. It can be masked. It can be outside. Whatever. I don't care.
My video is stuttering. Do you see that on Discord?
Not on Discord. Not really. Maybe a little bit, but let me put you in heavy focus mode. Do it again.
It's very clear. You would know if you were seeing it. I'm gonna.
Yeah, it's.
Maybe I can turn off like hardware acceleration or something. That usually fixes most things. Ah, beautiful, smooth. It's like butter.
See, now I got the stuttering.
Really?
Yeah, it's fine as long as the output's fine. I can see you.
Well, I don't know. The frame rate still doesn't look great, but
yeah, that might be it.
It's a lot better than what I was doing. You shut the fuck up.
Get that one.
Beautiful.
That coming in loud and clear, boys. Oh, I gotta turn my giant fan off.
Just aim it right at the microphone.
How's that?
That's wonderful.
Is this ASMR?
Yeah, basically.
Now, if you're LGBTQ, is it gay ASMR?
I mean,
Yeah.
if you're
Someone
a
has that.
specific part
Someone-
of the LGBT.
I'm sure.
Someone has that handle already taken. There's no way.
ASMR.
Somebody's cashed in on that
That's fine.
for a very specific audience. But you know what? Power to them.
Yeah.
I mean, here we do May ASMR, so it's,
There
Yeah,
you
that's
go.
good.
See?
That's good.
Okay, I think I'm good. Distance and levels. Ooh, let me just. I think.
While
I
you do
just-
that, should I turn the stream into a Nightmare Echo Fest?
Please don't.
Nightmare Echo Fest.
Please don't.
Nightmare
I gotta open up your Twitch stream. I gotta open up.
I like doing that to at least have the chat up. I like doing that to at least. Although technically, I could have it up mobile. Although technically, I could have it up mobile.
I was playing dubstep in our raid last night. Matt, you know our raid needs a shadow priest.
What game?
World of Warcraft Classic, baby.
I don't play that game. Have you not heard? There's like a bunch of stuff going
What?
on with that company. Like, you probably haven't
Yeah.
heard.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
I think there is a bunch. Now,
Mute.
my counter to
Mute.
that is that there's a bunch of shit going on with every company. So
Yeah. Plus, I'm not gonna play World of Warcraft Classic anymore anyway, and this just like allows me to feel morally superior while I just do whatever
wait,
I was
Matt,
gonna do
would you
anyway.
like? I'm like a fucking like junkie friend. Hey man, you just gotta get back in. It's so good.
No.
Takes the edge off.
All right.
I got the experience I wanted out of Classic plus some, and I
Well,
don't
Matt,
really-
did you know that there's Classic Season of Mastery coming
Yeah.
out?
and maybe I'll do that in like 13 more years.
That's not true. It won't be Season of Mastery 1. I guess they'll do. Well, we'll talk about it in the podcast. But let me mute Discord so I can get levels. All right, I am muting Discord now. Now I can only hear Matt's Twitch. All right, this
Hear
is
me
John
Twitch.
talking from his normal volume and voice, and then Matt, please.
Hi, my name is Matt. How are you? My monitor is kind of crooked, so I'm gonna fix that.
And this is TJ. I'm over here too.
All right, everybody, sounds good. John's talking again. Let's just get Matt one more time.
Matt. Everybody.
All right, well, you sound good. Let me just mute the stream. And now I can hear Discord again. Perfect. We sound good.
Nice.
I think we got it set up that one time pretty good, and it's been pretty equal since then. So, and I'm not peaking anymore. I'm getting loud. Oh, that was a peak, but I'm getting loud, and it's just orange. But of course, I could go, ha! And then it would peak.
Yeah.
But it's, what can I do? I should have bought the mic that Matt has, which is the same mic that Bob Burnham has in his special. Inside.
Oh, really? Yeah. It's a pretty popular choice.
Well, it's like
maybe I can
like
build
one of
you
these
a-
standard mics.
Maybe I can
Well,
build
Matt, if you ever want to
like
upgrade,
compressor limiter box to help with your peaking
well,
part.
Matt, if you ever want to upgrade your mic, I'll buy yours used.
Okay. No.
I'm just saying because. Oh, okay.
This is a forever mic. This is a mic that even
No.
if you get like a high-end condenser, you're still gonna keep this because it's useful in different situations.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, the reason again I've said many times is I bought this condenser mic over a dynamic was I wanted a condenser mic because I want to do voice stuff.
Yeah,
And then, but like
it sounds fine.
it does sound fine, but like that mic is just for podcasting, which would be 90% of what I do with the mic, if not more. That would be better, just because it's just rock solid.
Man, yeah, I don't know.
No, I mean it would be better. This is like $100 mic. That's a $400 mic. It's gonna be better.
Okay,
But-
yeah. In terms of like
Like if I would have
needing
bought
to
like a
boost it,
Newman
it'll-
$400
what you're
condenser
paying
maybe,
for when
but-
you buy a really expensive mic, besides just like the reputation, is usually you're paying for the fact that it's got a really low noise floor, so you can boost the signal a ton without that hiss starting to come in. Yeah. But you can also
this works great.
also work around that with software. That's gotten a lot better over the years.
Yeah. Yeah, that's something I could fudge with this thing too, but we've got good levels now, so there's no need to overturn the apple cart. All right, are we ready to talk? Do we have stuff we want to even talk about, guys?
Sure. Yeah.
Oh, TJ's raring to go here.
Yeah, TJ's got some stuff going on.
TJ's got some shit to get off his chest.
I do, but I also just want to be blocked off from everything else going on in the house. So what the heck did you do, Matt?
It was really
started.
nasty. Okay, we'll talk about it.
Okay.
All right. Welcome to Born in the 80s, episode number. John is looking it up and has closed his Discord or Twitch stream, so he doesn't know. And he's going to keep vamping until he opens the Twitch stream back up.
Is it 446?
It's not 446. 442.
420.
Welcome to Born in the 80s, 442. I'm your host, John Danger, joined by my co-host.
The answer to life, the universe, and everything, Matt Hag.
And TJ May.
Thank you. Thank you for joining me, everyone. So sorry, Matt, you were starting to talk about something, but then I cut you off and said, let's just start and let's talk about it. So what did you spy there, TJ?
Yeah.
So he just he has the I'm trying to eliminate basically from my vocabulary. It's the new
Basically.
Just say essentially and you sound way smarter.
Oh, yes. He has precisely the motherboard component of a PlayStation 4 DualShock 4.
Oh, I got more
controller.
than that. I have the whole. This is the whole guts, and I have the rest of the parts here. Basically, when
are you just cleaning the hand cheese out of it?
More than that, when it went during the move, somehow it wound up in the room with all of my woodworking tools, so it just got caked in sawdust, and then sawdust does this weird turns into this weird goop. It absorbs oils and moisture and stuff, and then just kind of becomes a stain. So I took it apart to scrub all that off. I might be selling the PlayStation 4. I'm not really sure. I also kind of want to look into seeing if I can turn it into just a dedicated Netflix box or something. Because
play Fortnite or some shit on it.
You're only gonna get $100 for this at this point. I
play
assume.
Genshin Impact or whatever
I
other
don't
free
know.
games
You might
are
actually be able to get a decent amount for a PlayStation 4. Just I don't know if the supply chain is still kind of shitty for that, but I don't know if people are gonna go out and buy a PS4 though.
Yeah.
When there's PS5s available at this point.
I mean, it's a different
and
market.
By available, I mean
somewhere
theoretically purchasable.
Basically available.
Parents buying it for kids. That's kind of the market right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of interesting because in my work, I work with supply chains and stuff, and it's everywhere in the industry. Nobody has anything.
Yeah,
every industry, and it's because of the pandemic. Because they're part of the chip shortage is idiotic companies like Ford. And other car manufacturers shutting production down last year because demand was down. And now they don't have enough cars to sell. And they don't have enough chips to build cars because they're like, oh, the pandemic. And it's like, guys, you should have kept making cars.
Aren't they mostly made by robots anyway?
Yeah, but
I've seen those assembly line videos.
Mm-hmm. Did you ever tour the GM plant in Janesville when it was open when you were a kid?
No.
Oh,
that
we
must
did
have
that
been a Milton thing.
Well, I wasn't in Milton. I was in Monroe, and we did a school field trip to the.
All you southern Wisconsin villages are the same.
Car manufacturing. You're here in southern Wisconsin too.
I was in northern Wisconsin.
Yeah, but I'm like a northern Wisconsin village. I'm in.
I went to
I'm in the place that
frickin-
you're in. Those are the places you spawn in, and I'm in the place that you adventure in to meet your first real trainer.
I see.
Whereas
Got
my
it.
field trips were to a frickin' dairy and veal farm.
What?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh man,
We
that sounds
didn't-
delicious.
I mean, I didn't need a field trip to one of those because those were like the backyard.
So I know that they were here too. We went to one of my classmates' farms.
Did that farm have the classic? Okay, classic farm things. Did that farm have
Racism.
Did that farm have a truck that was ancient, just sitting up on blocks somewhere?
Oh, I don't know
Someone's
if
got to
that
work
farm
on that.
did.
That's
just
a
about-
classic.
Just about every farm up there does.
Uh-huh. Did it have the giant pit of trash that every
Not
farm
that
I've ever
farm.
been to has?
That farm was pretty clean.
Mm.
Did
terms
it
of
have an
that, but I
above
think
ground pool?
I think that farm had, you know how you have farms that have silos, but then you have the one not functioning silo that's like half broken down and almost like Leaning Tower of Pisa.
The
Oh,
faux
yeah.
silo, like on the Titanic.
Yes.
Just to make everything look even.
No, I'm talking about the burn pit, so I don't know.
burn pit, yeah.
Every farm I've ever been to has had like a giant burn pit, which is just where you
yeah.
throw all the garbage. And at my grandparents / my parents' farm when I was growing up, there was just a pit out in the pasture, past the pasture, that was just kind of like a natural valley in the little area, and everything was in there, like old fucking appliances.
Tires.
They just like would get the tractor to just dump shit out there, and then they would just set fire to it every once in a while and burn what could burn,
Just
and
get
then
whatever
crumple
kind of
everything.
cancer.
Yeah, it's real good for the environment. But hey, I do feel all right because before we sold the farm, we converted one of the pastures into a forest. So we planted thousands of trees. So I feel like I personally have offset some of my carbon. But,
yeah.
Just because I'm a good
Also,
person.
your carbon
unlike some
footprint
people.
really doesn't matter. It's a big conspiracy to make you feel guilty while big companies do nothing.
Well, yeah, obviously. But yeah.
Have you? I've been. I started taking surveys for cash, which is a side thing. But
oh yeah.
one term I've been coming across a lot, because these are all like marketing companies like doing the surveys, is plastic footprint, which I've never heard before, and I guess that's what they're trying to push now. And
well, yeah.
I don't know. I just I don't know if I should be as cynical about that as I am with carbon footprint, or if it's just like
so much. I mean, so much of the ocean is just microplastics now.
Yeah,
it's causing lasting damage.
And like we found out a lot of that is from like stuff we thought was getting recycled, but there's recycling is a business. So if nobody wants to buy the material that you turn it into, you're not gonna recycle it. Then it's just gonna end up in a landfill anyway. But I feel like I use a lot less plastic than like Lego.
Dang it, man. I can't remember the name of the company that I've done game testing gigs for. I want to send
really?
it to you.
That would be interesting. I've been
I forget the name of it. It's like a video game survey company, and they'll just like every once in a while email and be like, "Hey, do you want to play this game for a few hours and then do like an hour interview for like $150 gift card?"
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So,
that's cool.
I wish I had
was
that.
just something I was trying out, and it kind of seems like it's not worth the time. But I was looking at like some work from home jobs, and saw one for a software QA tester. That seemed really interesting. I don't know. Seemed like something I could do.
I just want to
point out
forward you
everybody's
the link
mistakes.
Oh, that's it. Okay. It's called VGM. VG Market. I have not gotten a test request from them since March of this year, but $200 for a 7-day remote play test.
Yeah, I've just been going.
So like
I subscribed to
games.
r/beer money, and I've just been.
Oh, okay.
Going through the shit that they do.
Well, I'll put it on the. Oh, the company doesn't exist anymore.
Oh wow.
No, there you go.
No, okay, they do.
They're
exist.
like, we don't need to test games anymore. We just put it out in alpha.
No, I searched one of their links, like the contact us link, but it's changed. There we go. Okay. I don't know. Like I said, I haven't gotten a request from them, but that was stuff that I've done, like phone games and like a PC game that never came out. I guess I have an NDA, so I can't discuss, but I will say it was similar to like Hot Shots Golf.
Yeah. I through the website I tried out, I did 2 phone game tests, and I had 2 very different results. One was I got so annoyed with it I just didn't do it, and the other one is I realized I wasn't going to reach like whatever level that you needed to in the time frame because it is a free to play game, so it has all that like artificially limiting your playtime shit. And also I am completely obsessed with that game and I live for it, and I'm all about merging dragons now, and I don't want to do anything else with my time. I want to merge those dragons. It's not even a game. There's no way to lose. It's not a game. It's an activity.
What's the game?
It's called Merge Dragons.
Oh, is that the one that I play?
You've probably seen it advertised. I've seen it advertised.
I know, but I started playing one of them like that. I do. Yeah, it's Merge Dragons.
Yeah.
I played that and I put about $10 into it.
Oh, I haven't put any money into it, but I put so much time in.
I was playing it for a while, so I was like, I'll throw him some bucks. And then after a few weeks, I realized that every little event and thing they did was basically the same game. There's some puzzle stuff to that when you get to the later levels and trying to merge things in a way to unlock things to get all the points. But as far as it goes, that's a game that I can't play.
Yeah. Well, and like just knowing they're a free to play game going in, I kind of have my skepticism glasses on when I play it. So when I get a quest that is for something that I don't have enough gold for, but I could just buy some gems and complete that quest, I kind of feel like, hey, did you guys do that on purpose? I think you probably did that on purpose.
Yeah, that's kind of funny too, because when you think about those games and the way they're like you'll hear people talking about the way they develop a lot of phone games is they're developed to make you want to spend money. Yeah. Like they're built in a way, it's just like gambling. Like they're built in a way to keep you there and to make you be like, just one more. Oh, I could spend $1 to unlock this. Like, it's just $1.
Everything that happens in that game, I'm like, is this a nudge? Are you trying to nudge me? Like,
I don't even want to know how much money I've spent on some of these mobile games. Like, I'm not crazy. Like, I don't spend a lot of money, but like, I guess I could probably look in Google.
I think the only mobile game, and it's kind of an asterisk, that I've spent actual, like, more than $4 to remove ads or whatever is Hearthstone. Because I, like, drop 20 to $40 on packs every once in a while.
Yeah, I don't know. Purchase history for AFK Arena, which I think I talked about like 2 years ago. I started playing. Yeah, I'm still playing that. I play it every day, and I have to have at least dropped $100 on that.
It's very much.
I play it every day, and I played it for 2 years, so it's a pretty decent value proposition.
Merge Dragons is very much like scratching the cookie clicker part of my brain. Because what keeps me playing for hours is every time you merge 3 things together, they become a new thing, and you unlock that in your little book.
If you merge 5 things,
no, it's always 3, but it becomes harder and harder because like 3 of these things merge together to create one thing, but you need 3 of those to get the next level, so it's just like exponential. I'm just like,
Matt, let me just tell you a little secret of Merge Dragons. There's a little secret of Merge Dragons. If you do 5, you get 2.
I know. I figured that out. And you know what? If you do 9, you get 4. That's the most I've been able to get.
all sorts of weird combinations that you can do with like the cascading turn-ins and
Yeah.
I guess it's not that good. AFK Arena as a game is very feels very pay to win in some ways, but it isn't too bad because like all of the characters that you can like buy, you can also acquire free by putting in the time, and you do not need to spend money to put in that time. You just takes you longer to get stuff.
Yeah. I don't
I
remember
like that game because
what is the gameplay of that. I don't remember you talking about
you get heroes. It's like a gacha game where you get heroes and then level them up, and then you just do like an adventure level, which is just be your team of 5 heroes versus another team of 5 heroes, and who wins, and you can like trigger their ultimates by hitting the buttons. It's just like basically
make
a
the numbers
hands-off
go
RPG.
higher game.
Yeah, kind of. But
Yeah.
there is some strategy to it. So they like the game they've done a this is why it's like they do just a good enough job of keeping it interesting that I can't quit. Like well, because like every like, week or so they'll have like new challenges. They'll have like challenge maps where your team has to go. It's like a little strategy on like a board where you have to like there'll be like pistons you have to unlock to like open up another part. There's like little puzzles. It's just an interesting like game, and the team like building up your team actually feels like accomplishment. Like looking at all the shit I have in the game really makes me feel like I've done something good, and I can tell I'm better than other players because I put in time. But it's also like,
But you haven't.
I don't know. It's
You
not
haven't done something good.
Exactly. Like, what's the whole point of all this? Like, it's enjoyable enough to unlock everything. Like each like little event they put out, getting all the pieces and unlocking it just feels interesting every time. Like, I don't know. It's one of those things that I play for like 15 minutes a day, but every day. And it's just like a sense of normalcy in my life. Of just I gotta finish the daily quests every day.
Yeah.
I kind of get that way with Yahtzee with buddies, but if I want something a little more substantive, I'll usually put in about an hour, maybe hour 15 of tiny dice dungeon.
I think I've heard of that.
Yeah, what is that game?
It used to be a Congregate, but it's made by Spring Loaded. It's an RPG, but everything is done via like every character and monster you're able to capture have dice attributed to them. You unlock more dice with dice shards. You open up new areas, and then you can capture monsters by defeating them either by exact roll, or if you have this monster catcher, by a little bit over roll. And it's the mechanics are just all 6-sided dice. I can't describe it, but you've got your basic like fire's good against woodland creatures, wood's good against water, water's good against fire. You've got poison type things. You've got standard attacking ones that have no weaknesses but no strengths. You earn items. The quests are super short, and it's a good little romp. But they have a sequel that's probably better. But I've put so much time in the first, I don't want to bother. And I'm sure that's a very familiar feeling for anyone who's put time into any sort of either mobile game or even traditional video game. Sometimes you put so much time in one that you don't want to play a sequel. I don't know, like a classic version of some MMO or something.
I don't know if anyone would ever want to go back to like a classic video game experience. I don't know. Gamers don't seem like a nostalgic sort to me.
Well, you say that, and I've been almost all week not dealing with my face, playing Pokemon XD for the GameCube.
That's the Pokemon that is laughing the hardest.
Wait, you have Pokemon XD for the GameCube? You must. Yeah. Is that your 401k? I'm assuming that costs $8 million.
That's how much it costs now, but I paid Mr. Johnny GameStop $24.99 for this.
Well, let's see how much your investment. Oh, it's not gone that much. $50, $100 for complete, which I'm assuming that's what you have.
I've got complete. Yeah.
153.
I'll give you $10 for
price.
it.
No, I'm busy playing it.
Sorry, so I've been game collecting lately as a way to throw my money into trash.
Yep.
But it's because I really want an analog pocket. But I don't know if I'll ever be able to get one because they never seem to have them in stock.
What's the analog pocket?
So an analog pocket. Spanky wishes he was on the podcast. Because
is that the teenage engineering thing? Or is that someone else?
Teenage engineering?
Oh, they make a synth called Pocket Operator, but then they also partnered with an indie game company to release a handheld recently.
Oh, no. So this is the company Analog, which have made... Go ahead.
This is a retro box of some sort. Plays old
Correct,
games.
Yeah. So they have a couple retro boxes that are available. They have the... Let me go through their whole line of stuff that they have. So they have the Duo, which does PC Engine, TurboGrafx 16, Super Graphics, any of those things, NEC. Not a lot of that stuff came over in the US. This was mostly like a Japan thing. But they have so they do let me see, the thing that Spanky bought, but he's not here to talk about because he decided to be too lazy to join the podcast this week. I'm calling him out. Call out culture. Is the Super NT, which is a Super Nintendo emulator. But like, so when you say emulator, I know you all, I'm accusing all of you of playing.
Please use the proper term, y'all.
I am accusing y'all of you of playing illegally ROMs on like an emulator on your computer, right? That's what we call software emulation.
I don't even know. I wouldn't know. I have these calendars that show me not playing pirated games, so just go ahead and look at those.
Okay. So anyway, so that's one way to play games if you want to play, emulated games. Or if you want to spend $200 on the Super NT, it is a little system that comes with ports that work with the original controllers and the original cartridges, and you can play games. Matt has left the podcast. He has to go pee.
Yep.
Or shut the door. Wait, he's shutting the door because the cat tried to enter the room. All right. But anyway, so you play games on these via putting the actual cartridge in, and you can use actual peripherals, to connect it up. They also it hooks up to your TV via HDMI, but I believe they also sell DAX on there, which is a digital to analog converter,
DAX chapter,
which you can buy to hook the HDMI up, and then it will convert it to an analog TV signal, so you could play it on a CRT as well. So that's an option. But so they do a thing called Fpga Emulation, which is Field Gate Programmable Array, I believe is what Fpga stands for. Let me see if I got that right.
FGPA?
That's, let me look it up. It is FPGA, yes. Field Programmable Gate Array. And so it is a integrated circuit that's basically able to emulate hardware as hardware. So it's basically, rather than the software emulating what an NES is doing to the ROM in the background, or a Super Nintendo is doing in the background, this tricks the cartridge into thinking the board that it's connected to is running the same board as a Super Nintendo. So the bonus of that is it is the purest form of emulation. It's still emulation, but it's the purest form. It's the closest to the original you can get because it is emulating the actual hardware. The distances between the connections inside the box on the silicon chip are being emulated. So it's got like the lag, everything should be perfect, rather than emulators on PC, varying degrees of accuracy. I mean, if you're someone who doesn't really give a shit, it doesn't matter. But if you are someone who has a lot of original game cartridges, these also have, I think they also have the ability to do ROMs, if I remember correctly, because I think they just have a USB port you can put a stick in and put games in, if you want to do it that way. I think you can also rip your cartridges on these. I don't know. I don't own one. Spanky would know more because he purchased the Super NT, which does Super Nintendo games. And
Spanky's
also,
dead
if you were
to
to
us,
play,
though.
so if you were to play a ROM on one of these, it would be kind of the same thing, as close to the original as you can get, like better than you would have on anything else. I mean, I don't think I want a Super NT because I do have a lot of Super Nintendo games, but I bought the Super Nintendo Classic, the SNES Classic. Like, I got enough. What I really want is Analog Pocket is not available. Pre-orders should be available October 2021. So I'm like waiting to get an email saying that they're in stock. But the Analog Pocket is like a Game Boy emulator. And it looks like a little Game Boy. It has like an incredible screen. It's $199. It's chargeable via USB-C. And then the other thing it has that's awesome is that you can get a Game Gear adapter, a Neo Geo Pocket Color adapter, an Atari Lynx adapter, a TurboGrafx 16 adapter. So you can play any of those games on this. It's just I think Game Boy might be my favorite system. I mean, that was the one that I had as a child and loved the most. So I've been buying a lot of Game Boy games on eBay and whatnot. So like that's been like my I don't know, it's my birthday this month. Like
happy birthday.
Days,
yeah, I totally knew that.
Yeah, great. So my birthday is coming up October 11th.
And you're turning 50.
I'm turning 50. And I look pretty good for 50 though. Again, no gray hair. Like it's pretty good. It says all died. But
shoe polish.
not like Adam, who's just got straight gray hair by now. He was going gray at like 25.
Yeah, but it works for him. It gives him like a George R.
He's got that
kind of thing.
Well, he's got like that salt and pepper look that's just great. And he'll have that for like 30 years. No, what was it? Oh, I was going to look up my eBay purchases. So I have purchased recently 2 eBay purchases. And this is the thing. We talked about this before, when I started buying games, because I started buying like N64 games that I didn't have. Like I got Ocarina of Time, which I didn't own a copy of, other things. Is I'm just so terrified of buying repro carts on here. Like people that have done reproduction carts, and it's like every time you buy, I'm just like, it says authentic cartridge tested. The pictures look good on that, but I just don't know. So I bought Kirby's Dream Land for Game Boy, which I played a lot of. So this is like shit that I owned, but I can't find. I can't for the life of me find these cartridges. But I like that. I got Kirby's Dream Land and probably my favorite Mario game, Super Mario Land 2, 6 golden coins. The Game Boy.
That Mario fight's freaking hard.
It is very difficult at the end, but it is awesome. I've beaten it with save states a lot recently, but
I've beaten it with save states.
It would be nice to have that. And then so I bought those from eBay. And then there's that site that I talked about that I hated, dkoldies.com.
Yeah.
Because everything's overpriced. I bought a bunch of shit from them too.
You really
because everything's overpriced, but yeah, I know it really showed them. But like they're overpriced, but like you have that guarantee that everything they have is definitely not a repro cart.
Yeah,
that's kind of like their guarantee. And I was looking at their prices, and their markup was like maybe $5 to $10 on each of the games that I was looking at, because I was checking price charting and eBay just to verify.
So
Like I got
for the reproduction carts, is your worry that the reproductions don't work as well, or just that they're not like as valuable on second, like
not
if
as
you were to
valuable.
resell it, so you're getting ripped off?
It's
Yeah.
not an original. Like I'm buying them to collect and play. You know what I mean? But I don't want, like, what, to me there's no value in a fake cartridge. Like at that point I'll just play a ROM. Like why would I want a fake? I want the original.
That makes sense.
If I'm gonna spend money on it.
Oh,
like otherwise
by the way, if you get any like dead Game Boy games, I have a special screw bit for opening them up and swapping out the battery that I've only used once in my life.
That is something that I've already talked about with my brother, because I was talking to him about, like, if he remembered if he had any of those Game Boy games I couldn't find, but he said no. So they're in my parents' somewhere in a box from our bedrooms when we were kids.
I mean, if you want to find some that are not working and take a gamble, that'll work. I bought it, literally used it once, and it's just been sitting in my toolbox ever since.
All right, I may borrow that from you but I'll also need to get apparently I also need to get a soldering iron and a solder sucker, because you need the whatever they are, the little batteries are soldered on.
Yeah.
Game Boy card.
Yeah,
So
I don't remember. It was a long
it's not
time
too
ago.
hard though. It's apparently pretty easy because it's just two points.
Yeah.
Just solder.
Well,
I do need a new battery in my Pokemon Sapphire game.
What's that?
Really?
Yeah. The save state goes to flash memory, but this has a real-time clock, which is battery backup, and the batteries run dry. So my save is still there, although it doesn't matter because I've erased it and whatnot. Let me get the old GameStop sticker off the back. But
is that the same like triangle screw thing?
Yeah, it's the Tri-Wing.
Yeah,
I have a couple sets that have them.
I probably won't borrow it from you. I'll probably just buy it because those are like $5, and I will want to have one in my house.
Just take mine. It's taking up space, and
all right. Fair enough.
Said,
I'll take it, and then if you ever need it back, just let me know, and I'll give it back to you.
It's an even trade for the Kindle Fire you gave me.
Oh,
now,
yeah, shit.
That does remind me.
The Kindle Fire that you got for me for free, because I have this Kindle Fire that I bought after it, and I was like, I will never use that. It is because I have a nicer one that I use, like, to read books. So why would I ever use that? Plus, I also have an iPad, and I have a lot of tablets. I also have my Samsung tablet. I've inherited tablets though. The iPad was an inheritance from a dead relative, so that was free.
So,
yep.
You're talking about how you definitely want to get, originals and whatnot, and well, some of them are just way, way too overpriced. I just really can't do it.
What do you have? What do you have?
I bought a complete set of Pokemon Game Boy Advance repro cards.
You have to. Those Game Boy Advance ones are fucking stupid expensive. So I have a Leaf Green that I bought new for like $30 or whatever it was, or 40, whatever the MSRP was when it came out. Those are selling for like 200.
Yep.
It's because Pokemon people are insane.
True. Very true.
It really is.
Yeah.
Now, I tried one of these.
Did they work?
They work fine in terms of the actual play, but there's a little idiosyncrasy with these.
Really?
When you actually already have a save file, when you load up the game, you get to the title screen, you then start it. It pops up a new text box window that normally doesn't pop up on an original. So I've tried Leaf Green, but I have my original Fire Red over here. And it says, the save file will be loaded. It does something, and it pulls... It appears to be pulling a save file from a different flash spot on here. And when you save the game, the music stops for like half a second. And that doesn't happen in the original.
Got it. So they've jury rigged the memory in that thing up.
Yeah.
To work correctly.
I haven't tried it with the other ones yet, but I have a feeling it's probably going to be more of the same.
Yeah.
I just don't know. The thing I want to try out that I haven't gotten a chance to is getting far enough in one of these and seeing if trading works. Because I do have a Game Boy Advance over here. I've got a Game Boy Player on the GameCube, and I do have a link cable. So I want to see if that works without screwing up anything in between. I'm not going to trade to my Fire Red that has all of my rare crap. I'll probably start up Ruby and trade with my legitimate Sapphire to see how that works, because I just keep resetting a save file.
So, I also bought 4 games from DK Oldies because I was like, you know what? I want to get not repros, and their prices weren't too bad. I got the most expensive one I got, I think, was $35. Was Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening. Which
Regular
I think
or DX?
the regular, and I think
Okay.
it's 25 on eBay if I could see. So the markup wasn't too bad for guaranteed like good tested quality cartridge. Kirby's Pinball Land was $10, which I think is probably like $4. But I loved that game as a kid, and so I got that. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Fall of the Foot Clan, which I've never played, but a lot of people say is like a great game.
I hear it's good, but I hear it's hard.
Oh, maybe. Oh, great.
Yeah.
I'm in for it. $15, I think that was. And then for $24, I never owned this, but I want to play it because I've heard it's amazing. Mario Golf Game Boy Color. That's a great game.
I don't have that one. I want to play it, but I don't have that one.
That one's like a golf RPG, right? Just like the advanced one?
Somewhat. There's unlocks, and
yeah.
I don't know if it's full RPG, but I think it is developed by Camelot, just like the other Mario Golf games. And the other half of it is that Mario Golf Game Boy Color does link to Mario Golf N64 and unlocks courses, and I think even playable characters on the N64 version.
Yeah, so the Mario Golf Game Boy Color has the story mode where you, like an RPG. So I think the Game Boy Advance one took it even further. But yeah, I wanted to play it because I never played it, and it was $25, and I've heard it's great. And I also want to get Mario Golf for the 64 at some point too, and have that. But Mario
Golf for GameCube.
Yeah, Mario Golf for GameCube connects to the Game Boy Advance one.
And I've got the Game Boy Advance book.
Yeah. So I would like to play. I'm looking forward to playing that. I got my old Game Boy Color. I have boy, you can't see a thing on that screen. I don't know how as a kid I ever played that thing, but man, with no backlight, it is just, you have to sit underneath a light basically to play it. Like
your eyes were a lot better back then too.
Yeah, but I mean the Game Boy Advance.
You're falling apart.
The Game Boy Advance plays original Game Boy games though, right? TJ is talking to his family right now.
So I thought he was taking a cool selfie.
Yeah.
Yes. Of course I was.
But the Game Boy Advance plays Game Boy games, right?
Game Boy Advance plays Game Boy games.
Yeah, it's backwards compat.
Game Boy Micro does not.
Yes. Well, I don't have that, but I have a Game Boy Advance. So the wide boy Game Boy Advance, not the SP, which is impossible for me to play with my giant hands.
So
it gives me carpal tunnel syndrome immediately.
Theoretically,
go ahead.
Just a hypothetical situation. If somebody had an old Game Boy Pocket and they wanted to try and find some Game Boy games but didn't want to like pay for them, is there a way to play that on either that device or a similar handheld?
I'm sure there are Game Boy flash cards you can use.
I will say that while looking for stuff, I have found definite people on eBay selling 128 games in one cartridge to hook up to your Game Boy. And I believe it has a lot of the popular games in it.
Interesting.
That you can get.
I would never buy something like that.
One thing that's been really interesting. Yeah, look at. Oh man, I'm almost want to just buy this. What TJ just said. This is why, like TJ bought these repro carts because I can get all 4 Fire Red, Leaf Green, Sapphire, Ruby on this Etsy shop for $35.
Yeah, I got these for all 5 for $32.
Yeah, so it's like I understand, because like that would be like $1,000 almost.
Yep.
For the originals, because for some reason, yeah, nobody. So like I'm on Etsy here. One thing that I have, I'm gonna buy an Analog Pocket, but they don't fucking have any. But yeah, there's a Game Boy Advance here cartridge that's $10. It's 369 games in one. Nice. But Pokemon, sorry, not this just has Pokemon Fire Red on it. But so there's like a whole Etsy category of modded Game Boys that you can buy, and so this is where they'll take like a Game Boy Advance, like all original hardware, but they'll mod it by putting in an IPS screen and a USB-C charge pack as the battery pack, so it has like a built-in backlit like IPS screen instead of the original display. And they're let's see here, IPS plus USB. I wouldn't want the USB battery. I would just want the IPS screen. $180 on this shop. I think I've seen them for closer to 100, but I'm tempted to just fucking buy one because like I want to be able to play these, but I can't because my eyes will die. Like,
I mean, that is the reason why my main 3DS is the XL. You know, I like the big screen. I really do. But yet, I was playing Pokemon White version 2 on a... yeah, exactly. On one of those... hey, we won't tell you what to do with these cards, but, you know, if you happen to have things that...
John, I have a solution for you.
Oh shit, dude! I found one of those as well for my.
I take a shot.
that's awesome.
I had that fucking whole kit as a kid. Yeah. The magnifier, the light, the like headphone jack, the, like everything connected up, playing fucking Link's Awakening. No, I've actually found
battery.
Yeah, I found some pretty decent. There's this shop called an Etsy shop, someone's called AOY Gaming. It's in New York. They have a lot of good reviews, but they have quite a few like rebuilt. They got just some regular Game Boy Colors that they're selling for between $90 and $100, which seems like a lot, but that's just kind of how it is. But then for $170, he's got an IPS backlit Game Boy Color.
What's funny about this Game Boy Pocket is it's got an issue that happened with quite a few of the video game systems I bought, where I have 3 games for it. I bought a whole system for 3 games. I think I ended up having like 3 or 4 N64 games in total, and I own 2 Switch games right now.
Well,
he's got a lot of free ones, Matt, that you can still play. Rocket League is free now.
Oh, really?
Yep. Does not require Nintendo Online. Play online. There's a few free games that let you play online that don't require Nintendo Online.
That might be fun. It'd be cool if I could find something for Kirsten and I to play together, because we went to this arcade bar recently. She was getting really into that. I think so as long as it's games where you can kind of button mash without pressure, it's still fun. But as soon as you put like rules and shit on it, then it becomes unfun.
Well, I mean, there's also like games you can play together that don't need to be played in a way. Yeah. I'm really talking about like the visual novel genre. Phoenix Wright 1, 2, and 3. You get the trilogy on Nintendo Switch. I think you guys would love it. I don't know if John's played those.
I have. We actually bought that on the Switch trilogy and started playing it. Yeah. I'm tempted to buy one of these DSs. So he's got on this thing DS lights with the charger.
That's where the pointy guy meme comes from.
For $66.
That's not bad at all.
It seems dirt cheap for these, and I got to imagine they'll be expensive later.
But
I have a DS Lite already. Like, I don't need it. Do I need a second one? Not really. But it's gotten to the point with the ridiculousness of the collecting of video game stuff where it's like I should probably buy a DS Lite because that DS Lite that's $60 will be, fucking $200 in 3 years. So now he's got a Pokemon GBA, like the Wide Boy edition with the IPS screen for $174, and I'm tempted.
That's nice.
But the thing is, I'm arguing with myself already. The fucking whatever the FPGA thing is $200. Like, I might as well just spend that though.
Put the link in Discord because I want to see it eventually. But does that play actual carts?
Yeah. Okay. That's the whole point. It plays the original carts.
I've been looking for like one that plays Game Boy Advance carts. But I don't think a lot of the like the custom made ones have the link cable. And I only need that just because, I'm doing all this Pokemon shit right now.
I want to look at the just the details for the Analog Pocket. Apparently, so they're doing that like thing where their website is like super like slick looking, but then it's really hard to find any information about their stuff because it's like, oh, good, that's awesome. Now I'm gonna have to look up Analog Pocket, and then I have to look up a news article where they're explaining everything that's in this thing because it's just stupid. Here we go. I'll look at the Wikipedia page. Here we go. I'm just gonna read to see. Here we go. Yep, TJ, you're right. All right, you were right to question it. It has a 3.5-inch LCD display, an SD card port, which is where you can play ROMs, a link cable port compatible with Game Boy Link cables.
Really?
Yep, an HDMI port for screen mirroring, so you can connect it up to your TV.
Oh, and even stream it because I got my splitter and everything.
Yep. 2 USB ports for wired controllers, and Bluetooth support for wireless controllers, and I'm assuming headphones as well.
Oh, that's cool.
Out of the box, it can play Game Boy, Game Boy Color, and Game Boy Advance. And then there are cartridge adapters to play Lynx, Neo Geo Pocket Color, Neo Geo Pocket, and Game Gear games.
Is there a Super Game Boy style system where, like, just people that really want to play Game Boy games on their TV, like, can get a thing they can plug Game Boy games into?
That would be a Raspberry Pi with Retron on it and just download ROMs. I have that already, but I like never use it, which is like
it's a very the analog, weird, like the Super Game Boy. Like, hey, this Game Boy game, I want to put it on a TV is a very niche market.
Yeah. So the Analog Pocket is the same thing. Would do the same thing because it has a USB port for controller, so you could hook up a USB like Super Nintendo controller to it, or a NES controller, or any USB controller, and then you can hook it up from HDMI to your TV. So it's basically built in like that. Yeah. So nice. I really want to play this thing, but it's just they don't have any available in stock. And I don't think they ever will. Although I've said that about the Analog NT, like that Spanky bought, the Super NT, they're in stock now, and they have been for like a month and a half. So I think this will be difficult to get for a few years, which is kind of annoying because I really want one, but I'll just have to get lucky. I'll just have to get lucky with grabbing it because
get lucky.
It just they like the reviews. The Pocket will be released in 2020 for $200. Nope. It was supposed to come out in May, and then it got delayed again to October this year. So,
if you want something completely different, the thing I was thinking of was the Playdate, which is a retro style handheld that has a little crank on it, and you play games by cranking it. I'm very good at cranking.
Here we go. So I could just buy this $10 Etsy 369-in-1 cartridge. It says no repeat, and then they're using like spacing here so they don't get like copyright struck. They got all the Pokemons: Fire Red, Emerald, Leaf Green, Ruby, Sapphire, Super Mario Advance 1, 2, 3, and 4, Mario Kart Advance. It's like every single game you would want.
Couldn't you just get like a thing that lets you plug a USB drive into a Game Boy game slot and do like the whole thing yourself?
Well, that's what I was kind of talking about before. The thing I have, at least works on the DS. Is it's a card called an R4 card. Works on the older style DSs, not the updating.
I also have an
3DS.
R4 card.
Yeah, that's how I originally played. The World Ends with You and what the fuck was that? Ghost Trick, Phantom Detective. Which
oh man, the R4 cart is so awesome. It's complete piracy though.
Is there one for the like original Game Boy?
Probably not.
There's probably, they call them flash carts, but
I don't know much about it. I just got into the R4 cart when we I forget why I bought that. I bought it partially because I wanted to play some Japanese games. So Oendon, which is the Japanese version of Elite Beat Agents, and Oendon 2, which never came out in the US. There was no Elite Beat Agents 2. I wanted to play those because you don't really need to know much Japanese to play them, and they're really fun rhythm games that are like really unique, and I haven't played anything like it since. I want that. So I was like, I guess the only way I can get this is this, because Nintendo, I think the DS was still region locked. Whereas the Switch is not, so you can buy Japanese games for yourself. They've done it. They've completely. I think every console has gotten rid of region locking at this point. It's stupid.
Yeah.
Why? Why? There was no reason to, because there's no game. Like if a game comes out in Japanese only, why not? You can buy it. Like you're losing a sale by limiting the consoles that can go on. So I love that. I think it's a Super Nintendo that you can mod your Super Nintendo to play Super Famicom games by, I think you just break off 2 plastic tabs on the inside.
Yeah, I think so.
Because the cartridges for the US have like slots for those plastic tabs to go in, but the Japanese ones don't. So literally all you have to do is go in there with a little... Yeah, it's literally exactly what it is. You just have to go in and like cut off those little tabs with like a Dremel or something, and then the cartridges... The original ones still fit, but the Japanese ones also fit, so real easy to do. Like that's one of the easiest ones. I think a lot of the other old consoles you need to do some soldering work and solder a separate chip on. I know for PlayStation, the first PlayStation, you could play ROMs, like just burned CDs of games.
Yeah, you had to install a thing into it.
Yes, you had to solder on a thing that when you hit the power on button, it ran that as the copy protection, and then it just went right into the game.
My brother had one of those in his college dorm room in the year 2000.
So, whereas I believe the Dreamcast from the launch you could play pirated stuff on it. They had no copy protection.
No, I thought that was a near end of life thing where developers just like, here you go, here's how you unlock everything.
Oh, okay. Either that, or I just know that like the Dreamcast was fucking wide open. Just like the Sony PSP 2000, like you'll see this is a PSP 2000, which means it doesn't have the firmware that makes it so you can't fuck around with it. Yeah. Basically, and whereas there's the PSP 3000, which has the newer firmware that is more locked down. So I don't know why anyone would buy a PSP. Like, what PSP only games exist? I guess that Final Fantasy 2 for PSP was like a really good version.
Yeah, the Final Fantasy 2 Anniversary Edition, I guess is what they called it. There's Dissidia Final Fantasy and Dissidia Final Fantasy Duodecim. There's the 2 Star Ocean games that they did. There's the Persona remakes, but those are on the digital store. The Star Ocean's art, which fucking pisses me off. Because they've got a better version of Star Ocean 2, which was originally PS1. They released a Japan version on PS4. We didn't get it here. Fuck.
Those dicks.
Exactly.
So, I mean, I'm just looking through a list of 25 best PSP games, and a lot of these seem to be available on other platforms now.
Yeah, exactly. So. And even for people who are in the Vita age, good luck finding a Vita now. A lot of the PSP games that you could
they couldn't give those away like 4 years ago.
I know.
PS Vitas. It's hilarious.
But PS Vitas and the PlayStation TVs, you can't find them anywhere.
That's one thing that I've learned. Like looking at buying this shit.
Get them when they're cheap.
Oh, buy every single video game console always, because I'm sure.
Yeah.
10 years from now, my Wii U will be worth stupid amounts of money because
just buy
nobody
one
bought
extra,
a Wii U.
don't open it, and put it in storage.
Exactly. Well, I mean, if I had the money, I would do that. I kind of wish I would have done that with the. So the Milwaukee Bucks won the NBA championship, and I bought a bunch of memorabilia, including a pack of like their. I don't know if you have this Packers card set that I got when they won the Super Bowl in 1996, but it's like the championship team card set, and it's got a card of every player. So I got the basketball cards set, and now I'm like, should I open this or should I leave it sealed? Like, do I really care that much about the cards in there, or am I just buying this? Whereas one of my people I follow on Twitch or Twitter said, "Oh, got mine in the mail." He's got 3 boxes, 1 to open, 2 to keep in storage. And it's like, God, that's so great. That's just the way people are now. Is like fucking capitalism's ruined.
And what's great about that is because there's so many people like that, they don't become valuable.
Exactly, so because you got to get in. Exactly, you got to get in on shit that before it gets popular.
Like the reason Bitcoin. Superman #1 is so valuable is because when it came out, people were just like, "It's a fucking comic book, throw it away." Like,
this is stupid. Throw it in the garbage. We don't. What was? I'm trying to think of other games for the PSP. So, yeah, a lot of this stuff came out. Birth by Sleep, though, your favorite game, Kingdom Hearts.
Which I think that's another. Yeah, that's part of the 1.5, 2.5 collection.
Oh, Dissidia 12.
Yeah.
Persona 3 Portable, which is just a worse version of the Persona 3 because it just has chibi graphics.
Yeah,
it's got some tweaks, I guess, to make it a little bit.
Female main characters.
Okay.
And that changes up the story a little bit.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have the extra stuff that Fess had. There's no perfect version of Persona 3.
There's like PSP list of best games. We're getting to the point where it's like Final Fantasy Tactics, War of the Lions. So just the remake of Final Fantasy Tactics.
I have that digital. Now, War of the Lions does have an updated translation that the original Final Fantasy Tactics doesn't.
Yeah, but I mean, you can get these and other things now too. Like, it's just
for War of the Lions, only there and on mobile.
Yeah, which I have the mobile version, which is fine.
I've got digital plays on my Vita.
So Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker, I guess. I don't know if you can play anywhere else, which is hilarious because ridiculously Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker's story is super important to the Metal Gear Solid 5 story. Like, it's just funny that that is that. But like a lot of these things are like available on other stuff. Like there's no like you need a PlayStation.
Peace Walker was in the HD collection.
Oh yeah, that reminds me of the whole reason I wanted a PSP is, my favorite game of all time, Lunar Silver Star Story. Complete. They made a version of Lunar only available on the PlayStation Portable.
Is it on the PlayStation Store? Which actually brings a good segue right now.
This was a segue.
They're about to actually lock down the PlayStation Store on PSP, PS Vita, and PS3. By lockdown, you can still buy stuff. You can still re-download your stuff. But they've eased up on what restrictions they were going to have. It's just you can't attach a credit card or a PayPal to those accounts. You have to load a wallet with either a PlayStation gift card or you have to add money on a PS4, PS5, or on the computer. Which, it's a workaround, but at least you can still get all the stuff. But is Lunar available digitally, which means I could get it on my Vita?
I do not know. All I know is that it's available. I just heard it was a great remake. New graphics, added gameplay features, another remastered soundtrack. Like it's funny because it's a remake of a remake. Because the original Lunar was a Sega CD game, which I played at my cousin's house, and I played a whole bunch of that because she had a Sega CD. And then I got the PlayStation version for my PlayStation, which was the remake, Lunar Silver Star Story Complete. And then now this is Lunar Silver Star Harmony, which is like another remake. But I guess there's redone voice acting, graphics, and all that. It kind of would bother me because it'd be a little different. But it'd be nice to see like a new version of the game. Go ahead. There wouldn't be a reference to Bill Clinton in it, though. I don't think, which is unfortunate to lose.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Never
the
forget.
people that did let me look at this up. I want to get the line. Like the people that did the localization for Lunar Silver Star Story Complete has like weird, like the people that did the translation for it fucking kick ass. Like because they put in like references to like Bill Clinton's and Eminem's and just like all these like I don't know, it just was very much a thing that is great and I've ranted about this so much because it's my favorite game. It's funny. It's got a cool story. It looks good because it's like doing 2D graphics on a PlayStation. So it's like 16-bit plus looking. Has music. It's got anime in it. You know, it's got sexy anime ladies. So Teen John was way into it. But the awesome thing about it was that I had the walkthrough pamphlet, which is just hilarious to read. It's like I think someone said it's like an MST3K of the game because it's just like making fun of characters in the game and like the stupid things that they do. So it's like
that's awesome.
The guide itself is fun to read because it'll just like it'll poke fun at the game as well as tell you how to do everything. I don't know. It just was really great. I've never played Lunar 2. I should play Lunar 2.
This version for PSP, first of all, you can buy it digitally, so it will work on the Vita. And number 2 looks sharp as fuck. So
yeah, they redid all the hand drawn backgrounds in high res and everything. So, I'd like to play that. I need to play Trails of the Sky. The Legend of Heroes Trails in the Sky because everyone said it's like the best RPG since Lunar. So it's like I have it. I have never finished it. I need to play more of it. But yeah, so I gotta play Lunar 2 at some point, but I guess I'm gonna have to play it via emulation because let's see how much a copy of Lunar 2 is going for. Probably about $8 million.
Well, then you better buy now because that's just going to go up. It's a good investment.
That is not how it works. I should buy it now if I really, really want it. Let's see here. $485. Oh, brand new. Okay. Open box, $260. Pre-owned, just the discs. Oh, wait. This isn't even it, too. This is Lunar 2 Japanese. Wait a minute. Lunar 2 making of disc is $40 because these came in like 4 disc sets with like a soundtrack disc and a that. Let me look at this. Anyway, I should get this anyway. Yeah, it looks like they're auctioning for starting at $100 pre-owned. So great. Yeah, I don't think I'll be able to get that, but. At least my Lunar Silver Star Story Complete is probably worth an assload of money. Let's see eBay right here. $750 for a factory sealed. This one's new, never used for $450. I have the box and everything.
It looks like
used with the box is worth $160. It looks like.
It looks like they did not bring that game to the PlayStation Classics on PSN, so you can't play it PS3. Fuck. I mean, if you have the discs, you can play it PS3, but not the.
It's so stupid. Just so stupid. Anyway, it's just game collecting has become stupid. and I hate it. But it is my favorite game.
I mean, as you can tell, I've got nothing against digital. I will get digital because.
I will too if I want to play
anything.
But
with
fingers. Like I said, like I said, like he's got the magic hands. Like I said, like I will buy it if it's worth it to buy it. But I'll just play a digital copy if I want to actually play it, especially the second one. But I'll have to get an emulator on my PC then to play that. Whatchamacallit, Lunar 2.
PS1 emulators are pretty easy to manage.
They are.
Emulators are insane. You'll go to hell.
Cool.
Well, that's one way to think about it. The other way to think about it is the company that made Lunar does not exist anymore. So no one's
getting money if John bought the stuff off of eBay anyway.
Well,
exactly.
Where are like the rules on abandonware and stuff these days? Like,
I don't know. I guess we need a lawyer.
If the company hasn't existed for X amount of time, but I don't know. Maybe it goes out of business and the rights get sold to some other weird holding.
Basically, abandonware isn't a legal thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Abandonware is still illegal, but the point of abandonware is no one is going to ever get you for this because the companies that would don't exist. So, it's technically illegal to pirate it, but also no one will ever get you for it because the company that made it doesn't exist anymore. Anyway,
just wait until we start getting into a world of the video game equivalent of patent trolls. People who will start buying up these licenses just to cease and desist people and nothing else.
Yeah. I mean, I've always been in a just preservationist when it comes to stuff like this, and it's that's why archive.org is nice. And that was one of the awesome things about archive.org was it allowed me to watch MST3K because there was a while when that wasn't available on DVD, or if it was, well, this was probably maybe 2008 to 2010. They just finally started putting them out on DVD at that point. Whereas the 2000 college John wanted to watch MS3K and show his friends, but archive.org had VHS rips and shit that you could watch, and I've been doing a very good job of deleting the ones that I have when I've purchased the new ones, because I know buying these, the Rhino or whoever owns the Shout Factory, I think owns the rights now. They're paying the people who made it, royalties. So, I feel good buying those DVD sets. Whereas, before, you were just literally tape trading to get old. I literally would trade tapes with my cousin who watched MS3K, and she would have copies of episodes she had taped off of TV, and I had my favorites I had taped off TV saved. So, yeah.
I don't know if it's still like this, because I just, when I watch that stuff, I just watch it live, like on the Twitch broadcast. But when that first started coming to Netflix, it wasn't even grouped like a TV show. It was just a bunch of individual movies, and it was the most annoying shit to deal with.
Yeah. I think they've since fixed that. And it's kind of interesting too, putting it in my Plex server is seasons of MS3K, because each episode's its own standalone thing, really, and it's a movie. So so putting it in,
but still, when I want to binge them, I want to be able to binge them all in a row, not
exactly, or you don't have to fucking exit out and search and find another episode. It's just put them all in the same pocket, here. So I need to get a NAC or NAS set up in my house.
What is this? The kid from Earthbound?
NAS, you know what I'm talking about? NAS.
Little Nas X.
Ooh, I can get a Dell EMC storage array.
Adele's in this too? Shit.
No, the Dell PowerVault ME4080 storage array. Only $58,000. Or I
It
could buy
seems like a lot.
I could buy a consumer grade version of this instead of what they use literally
You're just trying to get a home
in
server,
server
aren't you?
racks. Yes,
Yeah.
basically. So so if you look up NAS, which is NAS, which is network accessed or network attached, whoever you listen to it, storage, and it's basically Synology is the company that makes the NAS boxes. And so this is like my next purchase is a NAS disk station. Is basically a computer that's very basic that you just slot hard drives into. And so you can get a 4-bay with a 2 gig like RAM memory on it, with a 2 gigahertz CPU, just enough to like pull data to and from. And you hook that up to your network basically via a network cable, or wirelessly, which you shouldn't ever do because it should be connected directly to your router, or else you're going to lose a lot of quality. But the idea is you buy one of these boxes and you can put, 4 10 terabyte hard drives in there, and that gives you 40 terabytes of space. Or what you should do, and what everyone does, is you just have it backed up. So you have 20 terabytes backed up on 2 other ones. So you have, like, if one fails, you still have all of your data. So they're $500.
What is that thing called?
NAS,
NAS.
It's Synology is the company.
Could you do something like that with like a Raspberry Pi?
No, yes. So definitely. So another idea I would have is if I ever bought a new PC, you know what I mean? I could just put this PC, next to my router and just load it up with hard drives. And then it would be that. The only difference is this uses an ass load more power than that would use. And if you're paying your own power bill, which I am, it does add up, not a ton, but I'm sure it probably like $40-50 a year just to keep this thing on all the time, if not more. I guess if I took the graphics card out, it wouldn't be doing a lot of power draw, but
invest in some solar panels.
Yeah, I guess those are only like tens of thousands of dollars. But so yeah, but like, so a NAS is like, I mean, this is Synology. They're really expensive, but you can get like, 2-bay for like, it's between $200 to $600. And then but they don't come with hard drives. So you got to buy a hard drive separate, and those are going to be about the same price. So you're spending like about $1,000 on this, but it is the best way to have Plex. Because right now my Plex server is just pulling all of its stuff off of my 4 terabyte or 5 terabyte hard drive I put in here, which is nowhere near full. It's like a third full. But if I really wanted to get crazy and start ripping like my Blu-rays and stuff, that eats up space. Because like a DVD, that's nothing. Like a movie,
do
hour
you
long,
like crunch down
2 hour long movie,
the videos, or is it like okay?
A bit. I try and be. I don't do lossless because that's ridiculous, and I would be using up.
And like DVDs are already a little bit compressed, so
correct. So I use Handbrake, but I don't, because of course it's illegal to do this because there's copy protection. It's breaking for you to copy this. But if I were to do it, I would use Handbrake software. Well, no, I do it on home movie DVDs. I actually have ripped one, so there you go. But
I'm just gonna cut out every time you say ripped one.
I ripped one, but they put in like de-interlacing and decombing filters and stuff built in, and like the software is actually pretty dang good at like giving you a really pretty high quality image with a lower file size.
Yeah.
They've come quite a ways on that. And so I will do, like, when I'm ripping something, I'll do a few tests with some like different options and then kind of pick the one I think looks the best and go with it. So it's great. Yeah, I'm a fan of ripping. I've just been ripping every DVD I own to my Plex server because I'm lazy and I'd rather just go onto Plex and watch it than pull out a DVD and put it in my PlayStation 4.
Yeah.
Because that's too
that
much
makes
effort.
sense. Like, no, it is just dumb in the world that we
I own
created
this.
to
Like, I should be able to
the
use
idea
it.
of I have to go pick up this physical thing and put it in a machine in order to watch a movie seems so old fashioned now.
And it's funny too because I've started collecting VHS tapes. So.
Oh yeah, me too. I won't I bought my first DVD in like maybe 15, 20 years. But yeah, I'll just buy VHS tapes whenever I find them because they're cool.
Yeah, they're fun. It's cool. It's kind of really neat to think of this like weird analog format of video. Like, and I fixed my issue I was having with my VCR. I don't know if I talked about it on the podcast where certain tapes weren't playing on my TV. It's straight up just an interface problem with my TV because certain tapes will just like the screen would like jump because I realized it was whatever fucking dumbass software is in my Hands-Free brand television that's in the basement where I have like my retro gaming area set up. That when it's taking an analog signal from like the whatever it is RGB ports, or maybe not RGB, whatever it is, the red, yellow, and
RCA
and white.
RCA.
Thank you, RCA ports. It's just like trying to like implement some sort of like zoom or like widescreening functionality by default. And it just like will flash on and off. But some VHS tapes, it doesn't do that. So I don't know if it's just encoded in the video, like, you know, data that's coming through that it's like trying to do that. That it's like, this is 4:3. It needs to be done. And some of them it just doesn't give a shit about and plays. So I bought a cheap ass RCA to HDMI like converter that hooks up via USB. So it just hooks up to the USB port on the TV. And it just runs fine now through an HDMI port. So I'm like, whatever.
Yeah.
Like it's fixed.
You can buy all that stuff on like Amazon for $9.
It was like $10.
Converter box, yeah.
Yeah. And then my universal remote that I bought because for some reason literally this Panasonic VCR requires the remote to work because when you boot it up after it's been off for long enough or anytime it loses power, it makes you go through the setup of choosing the language and everything, and you can't do it from the on console control. So it's like you literally have to have. But I bought like a fucking 4-in-1 remote for, I think it was an RC. It's an RCA. Sorry, not Panasonic. An RCA remote for like $6 on Amazon, and it worked immediately. So like, but this technology is getting difficult to hold on to. So if you want to buy a VHS player, do it now because they're not getting cheaper.
No, do it now. Try and find one that didn't come with a remote originally, and you'll probably be good.
Yeah, but I mean, like even like I said, those universal remotes actually work pretty dang well.
Yeah,
so,
I got.
I mean, like
you depending on like the age of the VCR, you kind of have. Yeah, I don't know. I've picked up VCRs that were either too old or an obscure enough brand that they didn't work for universal remotes.
So, but like, I don't think VCRs are really expensive yet. Like, we're talking, you can get one for $20 to $30 now. You know,
you can get one for like $5 at a Goodwill, but you're gonna have to do some work to get it. You're gonna have to
because they get snapped up pretty quick.
Well, and you're just gonna have to know what you're looking for, and if it is something that has a remote or was supposed to have a remote and doesn't, then you're taking a chance that it just might not be usable.
Yeah. So it's kind of like and the annoying thing too with Goodwill is I went to a Goodwill recently because I wanted to look for. Lauren and I were like, let's buy some VHS tapes and old games and stuff. So we went to the game store near us, a video game exchange on Atwood and Madison. It's fucking the best place ever. They have racks and racks of VHS tapes and used like vinyl and stuff now. So they have lots of awesome shit to look through. but they still have tons of games too, and like mint inbox versions of old games and stuff. Like they have lots of it's incredible. It's like a museum.
Mm-hmm.
And so I bought a bunch of VHS tapes there. I got a fucking mint copy of Twister. You know, hold on to that one. A sealed copy of Arachnophobia. You know, hold on to that one. So that's like the whole like thing now is that I want to collect just fun ass like VHS movies. Like I have lots of weird tapes, like found footage festival style, like training videos and shit that I got from, I think it was whatever that Pawn America that existed for a while in Madison was a fucking treasure trove because they had so many VHS tapes there. Goodwill doesn't have VHS tapes anymore. Nothing.
Really? Yeah,
Nope.
Yeah, they're pretty rare. I think I've gotten like one. I actually
They
I've
don't
gotten
even
two
have games
VHS
anymore,
tapes from
really.
Goodwill, and one was just because I bought the VCR and there was a taped from
Tape in
TV
it?
copy of Old Yeller inside, and
Nice.
it was taped in the early '90s. It had like early '90s commercial breaks.
Oh yeah, dude, that's the best. Finding that shit. Like I ripped a whole bunch of commercials to my computer. I think they're on my YouTube channel. But
Yeah.
like it's just fun finding that old shit.
When I get this CRT TV hooked up to my computer, I'm probably just gonna have it loop like your commercial playlist constantly or something, some vaporwavy shit.
Like I really want to find like the old YouTube old like commercials, and like the commercials I want to find are like the local commercials, like old local commercials, because like the national ads are like whatever, but like who has a copy of the Madison Wine and Cigar Room ad from like the late 90s? I do, and it's got a kicking song on it, you know what I mean? Like let me see here, what other fun ones did I did? Like I got a Polynesian resort for the Wisconsin Dells, a Cops ad, Camera Company in Madison, fucking just Ho Chunk Golf Center.
I have a really funny tape that I got from my parents. It's Princess Diana's funeral procession.
Oh shit!
And it was unlabeled, so I just grabbed it. I was like, oh, I wonder what this is. And I was just like, why the fuck did you put this on a tape?
Yeah, so I've got lots. So I've got lots of those ripped onto my They're the only thing anyone's watched on my channel.
Oh,
the Menards ad has 14,000 views.
Oh, yep. At least half of those are me. I just live for that commercial.
Well, it's the Menard. It's not only the Menards jingle. It's the Menards Christmas jingle, which is like the rare version. So
it's a shiny jingle.
Yeah, dude, it kicks out. Yeah, it's a shiny. It's a foil covered, a foil version. Let's see here. Yeah, like that's funny that like because that's what YouTube is. It doesn't reward original content. You just put on an ad that someone watched when they were a kid, and that'll get clicks.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, yeah.
Oh man, TJ, I got an episode of you from episode 2, Born in the 80s 251, and it's you who looks much younger than you look now, with a very young one of your daughters, I'm assuming, that looks much older now.
251.
As it was 4 years ago.
Oh,
4 years ago. If we're talking about Tiny One, she is Tiny One is 9 years old now.
It's probably that because she looks to be like 5.
5, okay.
5, 6. So
is your oldest one like to the point where you have to start worrying about cars and shit?
She turned 16 in 2 months.
Christ. That sounds so stressful.
Oh, that's good, huh? Having her out on the road.
She hasn't even started classes yet, so we're gonna start it going into next year.
Well, at least she's down in Illinois. I don't have to worry about it.
Yeah. Yep. Well, you know, when those Illinois drivers come up here, that's where they come from.
Yeah. So, man, we talked a lot about old games. I don't know. It's just been my like obsession lately is like getting these old games and kind of collecting my maybe it's because I'm getting close to middle age
Well, yeah, we're just morphing
collecting...
into an old man podcast. Like,
you're collecting games. I'm collecting rare Pokemon. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
All right.
I collect trash mostly.
You collect weird instrument stuff.
I
you
do
got a
that.
guitar.
Yeah. Mostly I just
What's
mix
that thing
up.
called?
What thing?
That like the homophone or no? What is it?
The thing that's got a little
automaton.
I have one of those too. Yeah.
I want one. They're not that expensive. I don't think they're like $40.
No, they're really cheap. They're also really hard to actually like do anything with, but they're fun to hang on a wall.
Yeah.
They just look fun. That's all I care about. For a laugh.
It is a really interesting idea of like they have the little like silicone mouth that you can open. Yeah. So it's essentially kind of acting like a cup mute on a trumpet.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's really interesting to think about that as like a performance point. Like this is something that you can manipulate as a musician, but it would have to be on a very different synthesizer to be playable.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so we all collect dumb shit. I'm just collecting old stuff. You know what other thing I like to collect?
Relationship stories.
Misery from Relationship Stories. Yes, I've got one.
Ding dang.
TLDR. Oh no, I don't do the TLDR. I
TRL.
M26 want to do a randomized double-blind trial to test if my partner NB25 can notice whether an air purifier does anything. This caused a big fight.
I when double blind test came up, I thought this was gonna get into some much shadier shit. But
this is so like non sequitur. This is just ridiculous.
Yeah, I love
All
this.
right, I need details.
Yeah. Greetings, good voyeurs of Reddit and born in the 80s. I bring you a lovely flaming garbage
they
can
that
of
out specifically for us.
Yes. Garbage can of a lover's quarrel for your amusement. We've been dating for 2.5 years just say 2.5. For context, bringing in panels of Reddit judges isn't my favorite thing to do, but here, and the Bitecast boys, if you check my post history, you can see my reply to it. Okay, fuck off. I think we're all being a bit petty childish here. I want to settle which petty child is correct about the efficacy of air purification devices. Here's the situation summed up. My partner, who we'll call A, is allergic to dust mites. A really thinks that I should get an air purifier for my place because they got a cheap one recently and have felt better since. My place is about 3 times bigger than A's by volume. Way to brag. Oh wait, I have 3 roommates. Never mind. I have 3 roommates. We've discussed getting an air purifier before when there were wildfires, and we decided we'd have to get a very expensive one for it to be able to filter the whole house. And not everyone was down to pitch in for that, so we never got one. I believe I told A this at the time, but I don't remember. They don't remember me doing so. So maybe that's my bad for misremembering, but A could have forgotten. Last night, A pressed the issue that I really should order a purifier right away because her eyes itched a lot the last time they came over. After some back and forth, I said I'd get one, but that I would want to run a test to see if it works. That I'd have my roommate randomly run it or not run it all day without telling us, and then we'd see if A could notice the difference. Ideally, we do this a few times and have multiple people guess so that we'd have a good sample size. A got really mad at the suggestion. I did order a purifier anyways, the same one A owns. I still do want to do some kind of test to settle which one of us is right. Since then, we've mainly been fighting about the fact that I had the audacity to suggest the test. I think it's a good plan. I'm not sure why it made them so mad. I didn't even say they'd have to pay for the filter if we couldn't tell the difference or that I'd return it. I just want to know if we can prove the thing makes a difference. Personally, I think the only thing that would really help is if we get rid of all the roommates to clean the house a lot more. But that's another whole bucket of worms. What's a fair way to resolve this argument?
You did it wrong.
All right.
If you're going to experiment on your significant other, you don't tell them ahead of time.
Exactly. Why would you tell them ahead of time?
From a science perspective?
It's classic science.
Yes.
You know, once they know they're being observed, it fucks everything up. I think it's how it goes in science books.
It's not double blind at that point.
Yeah.
But from a relationship perspective, don't fuck with people just because.
Mm-hmm.
There's no reason to do that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if
or
you're
just
talking
make
about
sure they don't
someone's,
find out about it.
it's
Well,
not
here's
just comfort versus discomfort. You're
Yeah.
talking about someone who's dealing with allergies, and even if the feeling better was a placebo responses are powerful.
Mhm.
Your mind does have a significant portion, does have a significant part in your physiological everything. So the filter still works even if it doesn't.
Here's a little bit more of an ethical experiment that you could do that your partner might not be so pissed off about. You mentioned that like to do the whole house, you'd need a pretty expensive one, which is true. Just put it in a room, close the door, leave that door closed all the time with the thing running. Then you have a comparison right there of that room versus the rest of the house.
Yeah, well, I think that's specifically what they said because they bought the same one that their partner had and put it in. I'm assuming just put it in his room so that when they're in there, probably where they hang out most of the time when they're visiting.
Yeah, fucking.
It's fine. No, you've lived with roommates before. Like the job is when you're a single guy and you have roommates, everybody has a television in their room.
Yeah,
nobody uses the living room area, which is like hilarious. It's funny because like that's kind of the way our apartment turned out eventually with Adam and Lance and I. But originally we did have a big TV in the living room. We all kind of would use it, but then it kind of just evolved over time to everyone just has their own room, which is weird. And then the living room was just empty.
With my college like group house thingy.
Yeah.
My group
it's
home
weird.
I lived in college.
I think it's because as you get older, you stop wanting to hang out with people, and like you get your like significant other or like.
I think it just like over time, a lot of people have trouble cohabitating with like one person, and like you multiply that, and then it's people you're just friends with, you're not even romantically involved with. You're a little bit less like forgiving there, and just like the grievances add up, and everyone gets so angry over time.
Yeah, it's you just gotta find the person that you can live with, and then hopefully it's the person you get married to, because that's just how it works. But like I could have lived with Adam for my entire life. Like he and I
should have married Adam.
Wasn't legal at the time, and then he moved away.
That's fucked up to think about. That wasn't even legal.
Yeah, it took way too long to become legal. But anyway, he was out of the state by the time it was okay to do, which is kind of insane to think about. But I think right because he moved in like 2011, and was it 2012 is when? Or
I'd have to look. I'd have to look for where the Betrayer saga is.
Yeah, and it was right around the time, so maybe I could have done it, but no, we just both have we both have like the same tolerances of cleanliness, and we both like the same things. So it was like we could watch TV together or do that. Anyway, so we got a good comment here that breaks down the 4 outcomes of this situation.
Boy.
You do your test, it works, you're wrong. They're still annoyed at you for doing the test, especially now that we know that you were wrong. Like, so it's like, oh, you did the test, and yeah, I wasn't fucking lying. So you learn that they actually have an allergy and they're mad at you. So that's one outcome. B, you do your test, it doesn't work. You win and are presumably happy, but they're unhappy that the problem still isn't solved and you made them do the test and feel stupid. C, you buy an air purifier and it seems to work, but you don't actually test it. Whether placebo or not, your partner is happy and more comfortable. D, you buy the air purifier, you don't test anything and don't notice any improvement. The problem isn't solved and your partner still can't relax at your place. Like, literally, C is the only outcome you can get, so why not just do that where everyone will be happy? I get it. I'm not, but this is like the inner Larry David in me. Like, I gotta know, is it real? Because there's people also say they got allergies.
If you're really interested, you can get like a little meter that'll like measure particulate in the air, and you don't
That's
have to
actually
fuck with your partner.
That's actually a better way of doing this proactively if they wanted to. I'm sure that particle testing meter is way too expensive to even like think about doing it for a joke.
I'm sure you can get like affordable ones on Amazon that kind of work, but not at all.
No, but I've seen that because I've watched many episodes of Hotel Impossible, and it's like a thing that you can bring into a room, and then like it samples the air, and you put it in like a little solution, and you shake it, and then you like it does like a little test, and it can tell how much particulates are in the air that it caught, and then it will say like this is a dusty ass room because there's this many particulates in the air. The other thing I would say. I get it though. I get where this guy is coming from because I would feel the same way because I hate it when people are picky about stuff when they don't need to be. I don't know if this is the case. Maybe this is like legitimate like thing, but like when people are just being overly picky and this is just a way to control you. Like, I don't know. Maybe, obviously the house is a mess though because they said
well,
so
and
that,
they mentioned the wildfires, so I don't know if they're somewhere west. Obviously. I know that was really fucking with like a lot of people's breathing.
Yeah. So like,
I mean,
the thing is those air
even in Wisconsin, people with allergies were having worse times.
Well, I mean, okay. So the solution here isn't getting okay, and this is something that annoys me a little bit. Don't buy an air purifier. If for one, they said in the house. So presumably they're splitting a condo or a floor in a house. Get the landlord to install a better filter on the furnace system because that's already an air purifier. Every home has an air purifier in it.
Yeah, but unless if you're going to go around and reseal all the windows and doors, like
but when it's running, it's pulling the air out.
Yeah.
And filtering.
Yeah, you do need that, but like just for like air that's coming in. There's still going to be tons.
But what I'm saying is it's literally doing the exact same thing as an air purifier. So an air purifier is sucking air in, filtering it, and shooting out the filtered air. That's exactly what the filter in your home house air conditioning and filter is doing. But so that's why I'm saying like that always bothers me when people are like, oh, I need an air purifier. It's like, do you though, or do you just need to upgrade your filtering system on your HVAC? Like, I could buy like higher MERV rating like HEPA quality filters for my house, but I don't because they're more expensive and you need to replace them more often.
If
I had allergy
open
problems,
your windows, you could actually put on like the shrink wrap that you use for winterproofing.
That's true.
You could just shrink wrap it and completely seal it off. It's non-destructive, so you won't piss off a landlord.
Yeah. I think the other problem I have with this is something I would bring up and something that you can just bring up to be an asshole because I am. And I'm a nitpicky asshole. But I would say I would want to know if this is real because running an air purifier when you don't need it is harmful to the environment because you're using power that you don't need to be using.
And that's the John being an asshole alarm.
But it's true. Like, it's just like all these things you can get to. But no, because like when somebody is being picky about something that may or may not be real, it may just be a placebo
I think
thing.
you're weirdly skeptical about this person's like
no.
problems.
I just like this is the thing is that I have a broken scientist brain, and maybe that's just the Larry David is that I need to have proof that this is real before I do something. Like to me, it needs to be tested, and that's what like itches me on this is like, do we need it? Because the alternative is I'm going to buy this piece of equipment, I'm going to run it, it's going to cost power, it's going to use power unnecessarily, and it's going to be a waste. When it could just be you have a mental problem where you think that you are that's what it is. It's if it's not like actually real, that is. I think that if they're allergic to dust mites. I would say, has your doctor told you this?
Common than like pretend made up allergies.
I don't know. I honestly think a lot of people think that they have allergies when they don't, because because the symptoms of allergies are just so non-specific. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. Like there are definite. I mean, if this person's eyes are itching and getting red and watery, that's like okay. They like because you can tell when people like are allergic to dogs and cats. Like it's obvious. It's visible. I think why this person's bringing it up is because I think deep down they think that they don't actually have an allergy to dust. because an allergy to dust is so non-specific.
No, dust mites though. That's a real thing.
Vacuum the house more. Like, that's my answer. Don't buy an air purifier.
Yeah, I guess dust
Clean your
mites
house.
also wouldn't be affected by like wildfires and stuff. I don't know.
Don't buy. Here's my solution, and my environmentally friendly solution is don't buy something to fix a problem. Try and fix it a different way before buying something. Never purchase your way out of a problem if you don't need to.
I mean, in this situation, that doesn't really work if they're renting, because there's only so much you can do to fix the problem.
You're right. I mean, but the thing is that I would want to know if it's real or not. And maybe, I mean, the way this guy could have done it is couch it as a real thing. Be like, you know what? We've been together for 2.5 years. Are we going to move in together at some point? I care about you. Maybe you should have your allergies checked. Talk to a doctor. We should both do it. I think it would be interesting. I've thought about doing that, other than the fact that I'm terrified of me sending a blood sample to one of these testing companies that I'll be on some fucking list.
They'll find out you're a murderer.
And I'll never be like allowed any freedoms like 10 years from now when they like start pricing healthcare based on your DNA, which I'm sure will happen in our lifetimes. But
my allergy test is a lot simpler. Do I feel like shit? Yeah. Does taking an antihistamine make it better? Yeah. Cool. I guess it was allergies then.
I'll say what's ruined this is people saying that they have a gluten allergy when they don't, because that bothers me. Because people will be like, "Oh man, I have a gluten. I have to get gluten free because I was drinking last night, ate a shitload of pizza, and I feel like shit today."
This is where John finds out that I have a gluten intolerance.
It could be real. I mean, it definitely is real.
Well, yes, it's definitely a diagnosis I resisted for a long time because I was just like, I don't want to be that person. But
no, but the thing is that like if you do have that, this is the problem, because our healthcare system sucks. And someone saying go to your doctor and actually get this tested and figure it out is like, yeah, I want to spend thousands of dollars for that. No, I just won't eat anything with gluten in it and I'll feel fine. That makes sense to me. But in a perfect world, you should go to the doctor and find out, because it could be something serious. Be like, oh shit, like if I eat too much gluten, I'll get really sick, you know? Because people that are full on celiacs, if they get gluten, they get really, really sick. Like,
luckily I
flu
don't
level
have
sick.
that bad.
Exactly. There's different levels of intolerance. I mean, there's intolerance versus a full up allergy. Like my dog is allergic to a bunch of proteins. I know this. I wish it wasn't true because her food's so fucking expensive. But if she eats just regular ass food, she just explosively diarrheas everywhere, and it's a nightmare. And she has like terrible stomach cramps, and you can hear her fucking intestines gurgling from across the room because she's just so uncomfortable. So it definitely is a real thing. And I know you feel like the fucking stigma of actually being it. I trust you. You're not a stupid person.
It's also like every gluten-free product tastes like garbage. So it's like, I just want to eat.
It does suck.
So luckily it's
gotta
not
get
that
way into
bad.
rice
So I
noodles.
usually have to
They're good.
weigh the is the taste worth the gas pains and stuff? It's usually yeah.
So yours is pretty mild. Yours is the point of well, that's the way lactose intolerance works for some people. Like some people, it's like, oh, if I drink milk, I feel like shit, or oh, if I drink milk, I get real burpy for a while, and that sucks.
Yeah,
and there's a difference.
Me,
it's like, is it worth it to have this ice cream? Yes.
Gas-related problems.
Yeah,
and then that pressure causes other things because it pushes stuff out of the way and stuff. But
I feel pretty lucky I don't think I have, or if I do have any intolerances, they don't affect me enough to where I feel bad enough to put a connection between something I ate and that. So other than the fact that I guess I can't eat like Chinese food, like an orange chicken or General Tso's chicken where it's like breaded and in like a sauce, it makes me sick. Like I get nauseous and throw up.
Huh.
I think it's just too rich. Like it's just too much like grease for my stomach to handle.
Yeah. General Tso's
either
is
that,
a little weird. It's that like neon orange stuff and who knows what's
either that or it's like psychosomatic, and like I had it once when I was like younger and I got sick, and so now my brain just thinks of when it tastes that and it gets in my stomach, it's like, throw it up, it's poison, which it is. I mean, that shit is poison. General Tso's chicken is just sugar and fat, but it tastes so good.
I think those are good for you. Sugar and
In
fat.
very small amounts, yes. Well, fat is good, but sugar is very small. Sugar is like poison.
It's all the food groups: salt, fat, acid, heat,
And sugar.
Yeah.
Don't forget that one. Yeah, so that's my thought on this, is that, like, I would have done the test it secretly and then buy it anyway. You know, like, buy it anyway and then say it's running and it's not.
Yeah.
And then see if they notice.
I don't know. I think
because
like,
if they go to you and like,
because like my relationship's different, but I feel like if I wanted to do the test, I would just be like, oh, let's do this cool experiment, and then like we'd both be down for it.
Oh yeah, exactly. Because I think that 2.5 years in this relationship, they just don't have that connection yet, where they just trust each other.
Yeah, and
like
it kind of seemed like the partner was mostly like not like, it was mostly upset with kind of feeling like you don't believe me, like, you know.
Yeah, I mean, this is a 26-year-old dude living with 3 roommates. That place is a fucking mess. There's no way. Like, I've been in that situation. That place sucks. And I'm sure if they cleaned their house a lot more, they probably would not notice it nearly as much.
Yeah,
and
just remove some of the pizza box totems.
Oh my God, that was living with Adam. You had to rein him in. But he was good about it. Like, you just tell him, and he'd be like, I'll clean it. Whereas someone like Lance living with them, if he didn't like something you did, he would just foment about it for weeks and then write passive-aggressive notes.
Yeah, that sounds like
Whereas,
him.
like, yeah, he was not a great roommate. I do have I have a picture. I forget what it was. I think it was one night he was out hanging out with people that he brought home from the bar in our like fucking living area, being super loud. And I wrote like a note to him on and put it on his door, because we worked separate times. You know, he worked late, and I just said, hey, can you? Because he had borrowed one of my sleeping bags so that one of his drunk friends could sleep on it in the living room. And I said, and it was still just out in the morning. And I was like, hey, could you just, like, when you're done, roll it up and put it away? It's cool that you borrowed it, but just put it away. And then he wrote like this passive aggressive note. It was like, well, I work for a living. This is when I was unemployed. So I don't have time to do shit like this. And it's like, dude, just asking you, like, when you borrow my stuff, to put it back. Like, it was not meant to be passive aggressive. But like, man, that guy.
It is really hard to write a note and not make it accidentally passive aggressive, though.
Well, okay, and this is something I learned when I was an RA in college, and it's something that I 100% preach anytime when I'm talking with groups of people or working with new groups and things that I want to bring, is assume positive intent always. Because when you come from a place where you assume that they're being snarky or that with a note, that doesn't help you in any way to help you. They may be, but it doesn't help you to think that. You just get mad. Like, they still want this done. And is it right or wrong that they did that? Assume someone's always coming from a good place first, especially when you don't know the person that well. Because it's ridiculous to not, because one of the important things is to think about the diversity of where people have come from, the types of, you know, backgrounds people come from. That may just be a normal thing to them to do, to write a note, you know, and it may seem passive aggressive to you, but to them that was just a thing that they're used to doing, and it isn't passive aggressive at all. It's you shouldn't ever assume
an efficient way
someone's
to convey
being negative.
information.
Well, that's the thing, is that you, like, when you assume negative intent immediately, you are already prejudicing your opinion based on your own personal experiences. And then you just, that's like the thing. I'm a straight shooter. I like to talk to people. I don't talk behind people's back. I'm sure I do. You know, that's a lie, but I try not to. You know, I try and be direct. I try and address things, because it's just ridiculous to not talk to someone about a problem. I don't know if that was just drilled into my head from a young age. It's just like, if you have a problem, talk to someone about it.
Yeah. Well, I just ended up that way by default, because like, if you're gonna be subtle and do hints, I'm not gonna pick up on it. There's no way. You're gonna have to just. If you're upset, you're gonna have to tell me.
It's just like kind of the way I am too, because like if I notice someone trying to be subtle and doing hints, I'll just like fucking cut the crap. Let's just talk about this. Like, we don't need this like weird things. Like, and that was the difficulty with someone like Lance, where Lance was like wanting to just me to read his mind about all of his weird thoughts and rules about the way that the apartment should be. Whereas with Adam just doesn't. He's like the chillest person I've ever met, and he's just like, yeah, sure. Like, yeah, cool. He's like the dude, like literally. Like he's just like, yeah, that's cool. All right, I'll do it for you. Like
really
never mad because he always would just be positive. You know what I mean? And that's the way to be. Like anyway, I don't know. That's just me. I'm sure I'm a shithead to people too sometimes, but
yeah.
That's because I'm maybe I'm.
Where can they
very
find you
direct.
online, John?
Twitter.com. John_Danger for unbiased opinions, First Amendment.
Facts
rights.
don't care about your feelings.
Facts don't care about. But like that, oh man, that's just me. I'm an asshole because I'm got that analytical scientist brain where it's like I can't let it go. It's like it's gotta be. Is it true? I need to know, and that makes me a bit of an asshole sometimes. So if I ever come off that way, that's why.
Yeah,
because I suck. And yell at me and call me stupid. That's what you should do. That's the proper response.
I think they call that like supportive parenting, constructive rearing,
constructive criticism.
So are we good to end? I tried to be sneaky about it, but now I'm being blunt about it.
Bye.
Yeah, I already said my goodbye.
Okay, I just want to make
sure.
sure.
I'll say
bye.
You can fix this in post. You can find me at matthaggmusic.com. See you later, nerds.
I ain't fixing this in post. Fuck you.